Have you ever wondered why your legs don't feel the same anymore? Why walking across the room seems harder than it used to? Or why standing for just a few minutes makes your legs tremble or ache? You might think, well, I'm just getting older. But here's the truth. Weak legs are not just a normal part of aging. They are a warning sign, a red flag from your body telling you something deeper is happening. And if you don't act now, the consequences can be life-altering, even life-threatening. As someone who's lived a full life and witnessed countless friends and loved ones lose their mobility and independence, let me tell you plainly, losing strength in your legs after 60 is not just about getting old. It's about what you're not doing, what your body is missing, and what your lifestyle might be silently causing. But there's hope, real hope, and it starts with understanding what's really going on. Here are the 5 biggest and most dangerous reasons why your legs are getting weaker after 60, and exactly what you can do to fight back before it's too late. Before we dive in, if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you hit that button and turn on the bell so you never miss another health tip made just for you. If you enjoy this video, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0 to let me know how I can make better content for you. 1. Muscle loss, sarcopenia, the silent thief of strength. As we grow older, we begin to feel small changes in our bodies. Getting out of a chair takes more effort. A walk that once felt easy now leaves us catching our breath. These signs may seem subtle at first, but they are often the early whispers of a powerful and dangerous process, muscle loss, known in medical terms as sarcopenia. What many people don't realize is that sarcopenia doesn't begin when we turn 70 or 80. It quietly begins as early as our 30s and 40s, but after 60, it begins to speed up, taking more from us than we imagine. This loss isn't just about weakened limbs or smaller muscles. It's about losing our power to live independently, to move freely, to feel confident in our own bodies. And if we don't act, it can steal far more than strength. It can take away our freedom, our dignity, and our ability to enjoy the life we've worked so hard to build. By the time we reach our 80s, it's possible to lose up to 30% of our total muscle mass. Think about that for a moment. 30%. That's not a slow fade. It's a sharp and serious decline. It's the difference between walking and being wheeled, between standing tall and being bent by the burden of weakness, between being able to care for ourselves or having to depend on others for the simplest of tasks. The danger isn't just in the numbers, it's in the consequences. Weak leg muscles lead to instability. Instability leads to falls, and falls in years can lead to devastating injuries, long hospital stays, or worse. Too many of us have seen it happen, a fall that breaks not just a hip, but a spirit. But here's the truth that too many people don't hear. You can fight back. Sarcopenia is not inevitable. It is not unchangeable. Our bodies, even in later years, are remarkably capable of rebuilding strength when given the chance. We don't need to become bodybuilders. We just need to start. Daily chair squats, light resistance bands, gentle leg lifts. These aren't just exercises. They're a form of reclaiming power, one movement at a time. And we must feed our strength as well. Protein, often overlooked in older adults, is a critical building block. Eggs, chicken, legumes, nuts, and dairy can make a world of difference. Without enough protein, muscles shrink. With enough, they begin to grow again, even at 70, 80, or 90. Motion is medicine. 10 minutes a day. That's all it takes to remind your muscles that they are needed, that you are not giving up, that you still choose to live with strength, with purpose. Because when we lose strength, we lose choice. But when we build strength, we gain freedom. And just when you think muscle loss is the greatest danger, Another more silent threat may be quietly creeping in, one that starts deep inside your arteries and leaves your legs colder, heavier, and more vulnerable than you ever imagined. If you're still watching and finding these insights helpful, please comment number 1 below to let me know you're with me. Now let's move on to point number 2. 2. Poor circulation. When blood doesn't flow, muscles suffer. There's a kind of tiredness in the legs that feels different. It's not from overuse or too much walking. It's a heavy, dragging sensation, like your legs have turned to lead. Maybe you've noticed that your calves cramp after just a few steps, or that your feet feel cold even under a warm blanket. Perhaps you sit down and the pain goes away, only to return the moment you rise again. These are not just signs of getting older. They are warning lights, subtle but serious, of something far more dangerous: poor circulation. When we were younger, we hardly thought about the blood running through our veins. It simply did its job. But with age, changes begin to take root deep inside our arteries. Plaque, formed from cholesterol, fats, and other substances, starts to build up silently over the years. This buildup narrows the pathways that blood travels through, especially to the lower parts of the body. That condition is called peripheral artery disease, PAD, and it's more common than most people realize. PAD doesn't always show itself right away. In fact, it can develop quietly for years. But over time, it starves your legs of oxygen, nutrients, and life-giving circulation. And when your muscles don't get the blood they need, they begin to weaken, tire quickly, and ache during even the simplest tasks like standing or walking across the room. More than just discomfort, this kind of weakness can be a precursor to dangerous consequences: non-healing wounds, infections, and in severe cases, limb loss. One of the cruelest things about PAD is how it limits your independence without you even noticing at first. You might stop walking as much, not because you're lazy, but because it hurts. You begin to avoid stairs, you hesitate before running errands. Over time, your world gets smaller, and the less you move, the worse the circulation becomes. It's a vicious, silent cycle that robs you of mobility, dignity, and confidence. But here's the hope, because there is always hope. Movement can reverse the damage. Even small, consistent walks around the house can open those narrowed arteries and begin to restore blood flow. Elevating your legs during rest, staying well hydrated, and reducing salt can all support your body's effort to circulate better. Warm foot soaks, gentle massage, and compression garments can also bring relief and renewal. Most importantly, don't wait. Speak to your doctor if you feel chronic leg pain, coldness, or numbness. PAD can be managed, but only when acknowledged. You have the power to take control of your circulation, to step out of the shadows of pain and back into a life of freedom and motion. The heart may pump the blood, but it's your will that moves your feet. And yet, while circulation is the lifeline of your legs, there's another hidden danger that doesn't lie in the blood, but in the nerves. A creeping numbness, a tingling in the toes, a strange burning that never quite goes away. The next reason your legs may be weakening could be even more silent and more dangerous. Let's take a closer look. 3. Nerve damage, peripheral neuropathy, a hidden threat to balance. Sometimes the danger isn't loud. It doesn't scream or crash or make itself known in a single moment. Sometimes it creeps in slowly, quietly, until one day your feet feel numb, your toes burn without reason, or your legs feel like they're walking on pillows. It might seem strange, even surreal. But this isn't just a passing discomfort or something you can shrug off. It may be a sign of something far more serious: nerve damage, known as peripheral neuropathy, one of the most underestimated reasons your legs may be getting weaker after 60. This condition affects millions of older adults in the US, often without them even realizing it. At first, it might be a little tingling or a feeling that your feet have fallen asleep. But over time, this numbness deepens. You stop feeling the ground beneath your feet clearly. Your steps become unsure. Balance becomes harder to maintain, and the fear of falling becomes very, very real. And if this process continues unchecked, it can strip away your ability to move safely, to feel where your body is, or even to protect yourself from injury. For many, especially those living with diabetes, peripheral neuropathy is a cruel companion. High blood sugar over time damages the delicate nerves, particularly in the legs and feet. Others may develop it due to a deficiency in vitamin B12, a nutrient essential for nerve health and brain function. Some are affected by long-term alcohol use or side effects of medications. The causes vary, but the impact is deeply personal because it takes away one of the most basic human experiences, the connection between your mind and your movement. What makes nerve damage particularly frightening is its invisibility. You can't see it on the outside, but inside, your body is losing communication. Your brain is sending signals, but your legs aren't hearing them clearly. That disconnect leads to imbalance, hesitation, and worst of all, falls that can change the course of a life in seconds. But this isn't a call to fear, it's a call to awareness. Because while damaged nerves can't always be fully repaired, they can often be protected, and their progression slowed dramatically. It begins with vigilance, monitoring blood sugar regularly, asking your doctor to check your B12 levels, eating a diet rich in leafy greens, eggs, dairy, and fortified cereals, avoiding excessive alcohol, and most importantly, listening to your body when it speaks. Simple daily foot checks, comfortable shoes with support, and soft massages can all keep circulation and awareness alive in your lower limbs. Staying active and doing gentle leg movements can also keep your nervous system engaged. If the numbness worsens or you feel unsure while walking, don't hesitate. Seek medical advice. The sooner you act, the more control you preserve. Your nerves may be quiet, but their message is loud. Protect us, nurture us, don't ignore us, because without strong nerves, even strong muscles can falter. And yet, there's another force that can rob your legs of their strength, one that doesn't start in your feet at all, but higher up in your spine. And if left untreated, it can cause your legs to fail you in the blink of an eye. Let's explore what lies at the core of this next silent saboteur. 4. Spinal problems. Your back may be causing leg weakness. There's something deeply unsettling about standing up, taking a step, and suddenly feeling like your leg isn't there to support you. Perhaps it buckles, or there's a strange numbness down one side, or a sharp pain shooting from your lower back all the way down to your toes. In those moments, many seniors are left wondering what's happening to their bodies. But what often goes unnoticed until it's too late is that the problem isn't in the legs themselves. It's in the spine. We often think of our spine as just a column of bones keeping us upright, but it's so much more. It's the central highway for every nerve that tells your legs how to move, how to feel, how to respond. And when something goes wrong in that system, a herniated disc, spinal stenosis, or years of poor posture, the result can be devastating. The legs begin to suffer, not because they're weak on their own, but because the messages from your brain can't reach them clearly anymore. And in a way, it's like trying to walk in the dark with no guidance, no direction, and no safety. Spinal issues in older adults are heartbreakingly common and too often dismissed as just back pain. But this kind of pain is different. It radiates, it lingers, and it slowly begins to rob you of movement. What starts as occasional discomfort can quickly become persistent numbness, stiffness, or even leg weakness so severe it causes collapses without warning. And the danger is real. If nerves in the spine are compressed for too long, the damage can become permanent. This is not just about discomfort, it's about the risk of falling, of serious injury, of losing the ability to walk without support. Yet, what makes spinal issues especially cruel is how quietly they advance. Many seniors sit for long periods, watching TV, reading, resting, without realizing that every hour spent hunched forward is placing pressure on the lower spine, compressing the very nerves their legs rely on. Over time, poor sitting posture becomes a habit, and that habit becomes a threat to independence. But there is a path forward. Hope comes in small but powerful adjustments, gentle stretches that realign and release pressure, such as knees to chest or slow seated spinal twists. Standing and walking every 30 minutes can ease compression and restore circulation to sensitive spinal tissues. Investing in proper lumbar support while sitting, even just a cushion, can mean the difference between decline and recovery. And most importantly, don't ignore the signs. If you feel numbness down one leg, weakness in one foot, or shooting pain when you stand, get it checked. Your back might be crying for help in ways your legs are paying the price for. Your spine is your foundation. When it's supported, your entire body moves with strength and freedom. But when it's strained, everything beneath it begins to fail. And as if muscle loss, poor circulation, nerve damage, and spinal strain weren't enough to worry about, there is still one more danger to uncover. This one doesn't start with pain, but with something even more subtle: a late night leg cramp, a sudden twitch, or a moment of weakness that strikes without warning. What if your legs aren't just tired, but chemically out of balance? Let's take a closer look at the final, often overlooked culprit. 5. Electrolyte imbalance, when your body is missing vital minerals. It often begins in the stillness of the night. A sharp, unexpected cramp grips your calf like a vice. You jolt awake, wincing, clutching at your leg, wondering what just happened. Or maybe, as you stand to prepare your morning coffee, your knees feel shaky, your legs unsteady, as if they're struggling beneath you without warning. In these moments, it's easy to dismiss the sensations as random, temporary, or just part of getting older. But these are not harmless inconveniences. They may be your body whispering or shouting that something essential is missing: electrolytes. These invisible heroes, magnesium, potassium, sodium, calcium, are not just scientific terms on a vitamin bottle. They are the silent conductors of every muscle contraction, every heartbeat, every message passed between your brain and your limbs. When your electrolyte levels are off balance, your legs begin to misfire, twitch, tremble, or even fail to respond. What feels like muscle fatigue may, in fact, be a deeper problem. Your body is struggling to function at the most basic level. For older adults, this imbalance is more common than you might think. Medications like diuretics, often prescribed for blood pressure or heart issues, can flush vital minerals from your system. Dehydration, easy to overlook, especially when you don't feel thirsty, can concentrate your blood and throw off your body's entire rhythm. Poor nutrition, often unintentional, becomes another culprit. A few skipped meals, a lack of fresh fruits or vegetables, or simply eating the same foods out of habit can leave you dangerously low in these key nutrients. When potassium levels drop, the muscles weaken. When magnesium dips, cramps and spasms follow. But it's not just your legs at risk. Electrolyte imbalance can affect your entire nervous and muscular system. even leading to irregular heart rhythms, confusion, and profound fatigue. And because these symptoms come on quietly and subtly, they're often misdiagnosed or brushed aside until the damage is well underway. But there's power in knowledge and even more in prevention. Start by drinking more water throughout the day, even if you're not thirsty. Hydration is the foundation of electrolyte balance. Incorporate potassium-rich foods like bananas, spinach, sweet potatoes, and avocados into your meals. Boost your magnesium with almonds, black beans, dark leafy greens, and yes, even a bit of dark chocolate. For some, a warm bath with Epsom salt before bed can ease muscles and replenish magnesium through the skin, gently and naturally. Above all, listen to your body. Those small cramps, sudden trembles, and feelings of weakness are not random. They are your body's way of reaching out, asking for help, asking for balance. And the good news is you can restore it. Because when your body is in balance, your legs move with ease, your steps feel sure, and your energy flows freely. And isn't that what we all want as we age? Not just to move, but to move with confidence? Now that we've uncovered all 5 reasons your legs may be weakening after 60, it's time to tie them all together. And most importantly, to discover what you can start doing today to rebuild your strength before it's too late. You've heard the warnings. Now, let's talk solutions. Before it's too late, take back your strength one step at a time. There comes a moment in every life, especially as we grow older, when we stop and ask ourselves, is this the best it's going to be? Is this the beginning of my decline? Or do I still have a say in how I live from here? I believe, with all my years and all my heart, that the answer is simple. You do have a say. You always have a say. And if your legs are growing weaker, if your balance is slipping, if fear is beginning to replace freedom, it's not too late. But it will be if you do nothing. I've watched friends, neighbors, and even members of my own family slowly lose the ability to move, not because they were too old, but because they didn't know what was happening inside their bodies or didn't act in time. Weak legs are not just about age, they're about ignored warnings, small choices that add up, and the quiet assumption that decline is inevitable. But it isn't. What we've uncovered: muscle loss, poor circulation, nerve damage, spinal issues, and electrolyte imbalance. These aren't random afflictions. They're signals, messages, and perhaps most importantly, they are manageable. You don't need to run marathons. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to begin. Because strength isn't something you either have or don't have. It's something you rebuild, one intentional step at a time. Start by standing up, literally and figuratively. Walk for 5 minutes around your home. Sit up straighter. Drink a glass of water. Stretch your legs before bed. Eat a banana instead of a processed snack. These may seem small, but I promise you, they are life-changing acts of defiance against decline. They tell your body, I still care. I still choose strength. I still choose life. There's something beautiful that happens when we stop waiting for help and begin helping ourselves. The body responds. The legs feel steadier. The fear begins to fade. And in its place grows something powerful: confidence, independence, dignity. I say this not as a doctor or a trainer, but as someone who has lived long enough to know that giving up starts in the mind, but so does fighting back. If you're reading this, you're already partway there. You care. You're aware. And that matters more than you realize. So don't let one more day pass thinking weakness is your destiny. It's not. It's a detour, a challenge, yes, but not the end of the road. Your legs have carried you through decades of life. They've taken you to loved ones, held you through grief, danced in moments of joy, They still have more to give if you're willing to meet them halfway. It's never too late to reclaim your strength, but it can become too late if you wait. So take the first step today, then the next tomorrow. Not for the past, not out of fear, but for your future and all the living you still have left to do. Because your next chapter doesn't have to be written in weakness. It can be written in motion. These lessons are meant to inspire you to live fully and authentically. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Take a moment to reflect and share one thing you've learned and plan to apply in your own life. Let's support each other on this journey toward embracing these truths. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment with 1. If not, feel free to comment with 0. Your feedback means a lot to us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content like this. Thank you for watching, and here's to living life on your own terms.